Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. We're back for another little Q&A episode, video. I don't know what to call these. I mean, it's part of our podcast. And podcast videos, video podcasts are a thing, but these are short, so then it doesn't feel like a podcast, and so then I get confused. Yeah. This week, we are answering a question from a dom who wants to help their partner heal from past trauma, but can't stop worrying that their submissive behaviors might be based on the past and not based on their dynamic. Okay, let's get into this question. Myself and my partner, both 51, have been together for 3 years. We have a caregiver little 24/7 power exchange. She, my partner, is coming from a 20-year off-again, on-again marriage with an abusive narcissist. Our relationship is good, and I'm doing everything I can to help her heal from the past trauma of those 20 years of garbage. One of the things the ex would do would be to throw a fit in public if the trip took any longer than he thought it should take, and that fit would include humiliating my partner. My issue. When we go out shopping, as we need to do at times, my baby girl will ask me, can we go look at insert thing here? I have no problem with this, so I, of course, go sure. At one point, once we got home, I told her, when we're out shopping, if you want to look at something, you can just say, let's go look at. It was then that she told me, part of the reason why I ask is because I'm the baby girl, and I'm supposed to ask permission. This makes total sense, and I love that she wants to do this. The problem is my annoying brain is saying in the back of my head, she's always had to ask permission to do anything from her ex. She's not used to being an independent person. So my question, how do I wrestle my annoying brain into getting this in her leaning into her submissive role and not her being stuck in an old tape? Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, my first thing is she's told you. She's told you that from her perspective, she's the baby girl. She needs to ask permission, which it might not be worded this way, and this is me reading between the lines, so ask for clarification. But that sounds to me like that's what she wants to do as a baby girl.
Right.
And so basically, just like we tell subs all the time, at some point you just have to believe your dom. This is one of those moments that at some point you just have to believe you're submissive. She says this is how this operates for her. You know, as long as she always has the freedom to say that she's changed her mind or maybe not, or she sees it differently, or, you know, whatever, I think you gotta believe her.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think there is a whole lot more going on under there. I mean, she's clearly stated, you know, this is what I want.
Right.
I think really, regardless of where that comes from, you know, go with it.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think you need to take more care when you know your partner has been through it and is having to sort of overcome that and relearn how to, you know, feel safe being who they are and doing things that, you know, should have been safe to do for all those years. Of course you do. So I think that leads to more check-ins, asking. Anytime you're unsure, just ask for quick clarification. Or, you know, you and I have done this before when we know we're treading near a touchy subject. We've gotten better at this, not necessarily specifically with this kind of situation, but with our own, and I don't use the word lightly, our own triggers from our own bad tapes and past and we will try to lightly talk around the situation. Like, can we talk about this? How are you feeling about this thing? Instead of sometimes just bulldozing straight through of, I'm not sure that you understand that you don't have to ask for permission, and I'm worried this is your trauma. It's more of a, how are you feeling about this? Where's your head at? Do you know you can come talk to me about this? And creating the situations and the opportunities for if there's doubt from them or if they've rethought it as they've gone through their own, you know, healing journey and whatever they're doing to deal with that. You know, there's some things might come up where they're like, oh, at one point, you know, yes, I thought that I needed to ask for permission because of the dynamic, but really it was because of this. They could come to that conclusion. Right. As long as you're giving your partner the opportunity to change their mind, to come to you anytime, it's a little bit different, to tell you something that contradicts what they said at any point in the past, I think it's fine because people do change their minds as they go through stuff and
you know,
deal with stuff.
As far as saying it's a bad tape, you know something, in regards to it maybe being a bad tape, maybe it is. But you know what? There could be a whole lot worse bad tapes.
Well, and think there's also a thing about reclaiming a thing that happened to you,
Sure.
right? So in this scenario, their previous partner abused them, humiliated them in ways that made them feel powerless in a way they did not want. It is entirely possible, and you only know if you have a conversation with your partner, that them wanting to ask you for permission is both a sign of trust and how they feel about the dynamic, but reclaiming that ability and making it something that is under, to a certain extent, their control, that they are choosing to be in that situation. Not everybody who's into kink and power exchange does that with their past, but some people
do. And they find that as a way to heal. You know, one other thing I'm thinking of, kind of noodling this a little bit, you know, this, I think there could be a possibility the big D is overthinking things a little bit too much. You know, it is wonderful that you want to help and support your partner. I think that's fantastic, and you should. You know, I think maybe on this little tidbit, it might just be a bit of overthinking.
Yes, and I think in this case, it comes from care and devotion and wanting the sense of responsibility of being both a good dom and a good partner. And that's why I go back to the original point of, if your partner is clearly stating that this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what works for me. And again, get clarification. If you need to hear the words from her, no, I do this because I want this, then ask for that. See, you know, if that is accurate. But the fact that, you know, they're saying it, you got to tell your overthinking brain that is about their consent and autonomy just as much as anything else is, right? So yes, it kind of maybe from the outside looks like the past, but based on how she feels, how secure she is, the trust you have between each other, how you treat her, all of the things, it is a fundamentally different experience. And anytime you're unsure, just check in. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a bit of overthinking, as long as the conversations are being had and she is continuing to communicate with you about those things. Like if you were just making assumptions and there had been no conversations, that would actually be a similar point, but a different point. Like she's clearly stating, hey, this is what we do. And if you just want to check in one more time and go, okay, this is what you said. Is this what you want? You know, you can tell me if this is not what you want, if you want things to be different. As long as she knows she has that freedom and you keep reiterating she has that freedom, not obsessively.
Yeah, no.
But just like as it makes sense to go, hey, you know, if something's different, if something needs to change, the more you make her, allow her to feel safe and give her that space to be who she is, the more she's going to figure out for herself, these are things I do because I want to do them because they feel right to me. And maybe these are things that I thought I was supposed to do and I can let go of them. But that's a time thing. And 20 years of a bad experience versus 3 years of a good, they're not even remotely equal. The good experience, you know, I did not have that kind of past experience. I will not even compare my past experiences to that. But, you know, 3 years of good does a lot. It is very powerful. It can be life changing, but it's still not, and it still is not equal to 20 years of the bad.
Right.
So there will be some shifting and changing, I'm sure, but that's also how relationships work in general and power exchange works. So the things that work for her today in your power exchange, might shift as you move forward in your relationship. Partly because people change, partly because your sense of safety and trust change, hopefully, and I think based on this, it would deepen, and then you can do more that you maybe couldn't do before, and she may get there as well. But, yeah. So the recap is, trust your submissive when they tell you that that's something that they want. And when in doubt, just check in and say, hey, I need clarification. And admit that your brain is like telling you something that you feel like is probably not accurate, but because it's actually a good sign. You care so much about not causing harm that it's leading you to doubt things within your dynamic. Your submissive is just as capable of providing comfort and reassurance and help as you are of providing it to them. So let them. is what I would say. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Okay. If you have thoughts, solutions, advice, your own experience with something like this, please, if you're willing, please feel free to share in the comments below. If you have your own question, there's a link in the description box where you can go to our website, put your question in. It comes to us as an email, and it could be a future one of these videos. We love your questions. We will reject anything that treats us like Google. We have gotten a couple of those, and those don't make it into episodes. We were looking for your situations of like, what is going on? What can I do? Not a, please teach me how to be a dom. Like, that's not what these are for. So don't treat us like Google. Thanks. What are words? I don't remember. If you enjoyed this, we love a thumbs up. If you like this enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And once you do that, ring the notification bell, get updates and new content.
Just do what Daddy says. I mean, I have found my life is mostly easier when I just do what Daddy says. It's more fun when I give him a little shit first. It's fine. When I get the gleam in my eye, it's a little bit more fun. It's not the point at all.
Wow.
If you like us enough to want to help us do what we do and get more of whatever this is, you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/OcalaLords, or the link is in the description box. You get access to extra content, extra live stream, a Discord server, all that good stuff. And you help us keep being whatever this is on the internet. So basically, if you join our Patreon, this is all your fault, and I'm absolved of all responsibility, and I'm okay with that.
Are you though?
I think so. I don't know. Look, I'm the baby girl. You're the daddy. I'm saying. Okay, we're gonna go. Bye.